optimize previously developed applications so as to improve their performance by utilizing advanced object-oriented concepts available in .NET. And she also comprehensively provided technical recommendations to fellow members of different teams. She utilized .NET framework features such as multi-threading, network-based serialization, and generics. Ms. Rose Oviya Ramasamy ma'am is a team lead in significantly large .NET conversion project from legacy systems. She works closely with development teams both in the US and also in the worldwide. She also built a simple web crawler program to be the part of the company intranet using C# sockets. She also worked with a wide range of business line or operations users in trading desk in Wall Street. Ms. Rose ma'am developed projects that reconcile front office and back office systems. She automated daily generation of trade applications, monitoring reports bank-wide. Now I call our dear chief guest to talk on the topic jobs opportunities in USA for CAC and IT departments. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to confirm that my presentation is viewable to everyone, or
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, what are you able to see? The first screen or the full thing?
Easwari main screen, ma'am.
Okay, perfect, sir. Okay, sir, perfect. How about now, sir?
Same screen, ma'am. Yes, second International Year Conference on Information Communication.
Okay, perfect, sir. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Good evening to everyone, respected dignitaries of the great institution, respected HOD Madam of IT Department, Dr. N. Anandi Madam, dear Dr. Kanaga Subbaraj Raja, Sir, Subramaniam, Sir, knowledgeable professors of the SRM Easwari Engineering College, and as always, my very dear students. It's an absolute honor for me to be, addressing you all today. My email address and LinkedIn ID are specified here for those of you who wish to connect with me. Before we move on to the next slide, I seek your attention for a few minutes. Generally, I try to render a teeny tiny bit of non-technical lesson in each and every webinar towards the end. On the contrast, I wish to give this non-technical guidance on the very beginning itself and concentrate on subject throughout. Curious, right? If you see my name on the slide, you can all infer that what I'm about to say. Personally, I've been fortunate to deliver my technical expertise in the form of conferences, seminars, and webinars for various institutions. This is the first ever time I'm honored to speak for an engineering college run by Parkokulam Udayar community, the community that I personally belong to, which is the reason why I chose to add Udayar after my name, like my great-grandparents' names. I just want to mention, seek this opportunity to mention about Udayar community, about, the ancestors, about me personally and my ancestors, we belong to this community, right? It is believed that we are all descendants of the famous Tamil king Pari, known as, for his generosity and kindness. Pari Vallal, Mullaikku Ther Kodutha Pari, all of that has been his name. This is all history. Fast forwarding to reality, I am sure that we all would have evolved from one common ancestor if we start to carbon date ourselves and, start to dig the ancestry tree and everything. Since so far, almost all of my immediate family members have gone for arranged marriage. We have all been married to Udayars. So technically, each of my 3 children are Udayars. All my children were born in the United States of America. And having lived here, they seldom understand what Udayar or what caste means. My ever dearest darling students, even though we all must be very proud of our heritage and ancestors, like how I chose to add my community name Udayar with my real name, like Rose Oviya Ramasamy Udayar. Today, we must understand that we live in a technologically advanced era, and scientifically, all Homo sapiens or human beings are all equal. My kind parents have instilled this basic human values in me, and have brought me up with the mindset to treat all fellow human beings as equal, regardless. I live in a street with fellow citizens of the world here for about almost, like 16 years now. People look different, they celebrate different festivals, they make different types of food. However, we're all the same, we're all people. So please treat everyone, whomsoever it may be, with the same respect that we wish to receive and the same dignity that we like to be treated. Okay, with this, I'm moving on to slide number 2. Again, like I said, it is an honor to deliver the valedictorian speech for SRM's Easwari Engineering College, second International E-Conference on Information, Communication, and Networking. Historically, since the advent of the Industrial Revolution, there have always been greater focus on how to improve any existing technology for that matter, and to make sure how the application of this improving cutting edge technology heralds like the modern, this technology, how it is used for the betterment of human society on the whole, and to make everyone's life better than ever before. So that is the main idea behind learning what is going on in the world, what's going on here, what's going on elsewhere, everything. I'm positive that all of the research papers and all of the keynote addresses delivered on these 2 days would have left you all enlightened. On this poster of this conference, there was a call for paper on some of the greatest and the latest technologies like natural language processing, deep learning, machine learning, etc. Right? Now, to make everyone hearing now instantly and immediately interested, we're all going to talk about sports. My husband, Mr. Senthil, played for Coimbatore Soccer Club during his college days. My father, Dr. Ramasamy, was athletic captain of Agriculture University during his college days. And my youngest maternal uncle, Mr. Selvam, played for Tanjore district cricket team during his teenage days. Both my younger brothers, Bharat Arun and Bharat Ram, are very passionate about most sports, including cricket. My brothers spent most of their childhood playing in the hot sun, ignoring the restrictions from an older sister such as me, like most of y'all, I believe. Unforgettable memories of, your childhood maybe, might be lingering right now. As a token of appreciation to my husband of 18 years and his love for soccer, I chose to have this football-related slide. Since, like I said, time immemorial, sports coaches have always relied on match videos to recall and plan out better strategy for subsequent play. After this, a few decades, back, say like sometime in the first decade of the new millennium, like up until the 2010s, match videos got combined with numerical analysis, yet it required coaches to integrate for assessment of play. Let us keep in mind that this sort of annotating video clips with play data allowed easier searches and content-specific statistics. However, it was unable to provide a way to apply advanced tools like artificial intelligence or machine language to the thousands of micro movements and positional changes of the players throughout a game. Sports analytics world is slowly getting moved to logical progression. Measuring and analyzing the team movement, has aided to digitize motion. Introduced in the NBA basketball codes in 2010, player tracking systems such as the SportView multi-camera system tracks and delivers real-time XY coordinates of each player and XYZ coordinates of the ball at a rate of, say, maybe over 25 times per second. This moment of big data helps digitize player logistics. Player tracking systems are available for multi-sports, including soccer. So there are better, ways to back up these days. So there is a company called Actronics, okay, that basically backups, and it is a disaster recovery company. So most companies, they try to back up their data in case there is a disaster in a place, then, all the employees can move to other place. So these sort of solutions provided by Acronix, okay, helps physical, virtual, and the cloud backup server software is getting backed up, their storage is managed, secure file sharing happens, system deployment happens then. What does this Acronix do with the sport now? They have signed contracts with European soccer clubs like Manchester City, Liverpool, and Inter Milan, backing up of, like hours of footage of each and every football game. Backed up videos are used to train the AI, artificial intelligence algorithms that help these soccer club managers and coaches with an opportunity to see what they could never expect to see and an ability to make efficient and better decisions. So that classic picture is of Spain's Andreas Iniesta. Okay, I think he's trying to dodge the Italian players. I don't follow all of it, but I just follow some of it. So, probably most of the boys that are watching would know better than me. Now, moving on to slide number 4. When machines carry out tasks, they are not programmed, pre-programmed. These sort of machines are called artificially intelligent. That is, in simple words, they are called smart. This is sort of like a timeline, but I'm not going to dwell deep into the history. There is a reason why I have to say all of this, because each and every part of this is relevant to the e-conference that was going on since yesterday. So chess, when we take chess, as we understand, it is a game that requires strategy. It actually requires a lot of foresight and logic, all sorts of qualities that make up human intelligence. So it makes sense to use chess as a measuring stick for the development of artificial intelligence. Okay, we will be revisiting this slide in a moment. Let's move on to this slide. Okay, we are analyzing IBM's chess playing Deep Blue. During its first meeting in Philadelphia in 1996, Deep Blue lost to Grandmaster Garry Kasparov. However, the following year in 1997, during its second meeting in New York City, Deep Blue bet, it was able to beat the reigning world champion Kasparov. Now, how did Deep Blue go on to win? Well, other than the increase in the speed, like, the hardware, Deep Blue was made to recognize and evaluate chess concepts, including positions and lines of attack, by detecting more patterns in a chess position and by putting values on them. Therefore, these positions were actually evaluated more accurately. Now let's get back to this slide. Slide number 4. So, machine language is the study of computer algorithms that improve automatically through experience and by utilizing the data, identifying patterns, then thereupon making decisions. Now, let's get back to this slide, and we'll be getting back to slide number 4 again. Okay. What we look over here is a wide range of voice-enabled applications: Siri, Cortana, Google, and Amazon. I'm not going to say her name because I have her right here. And in a moment, I'm going to show you all how to turn off this lights, for me. I can just turn off the light, the next room or this room. I was hoping it's going to get, like a little sunnier outside, but since it's only 6, it's a little dark over here. So I tend to, I want to switch off the, so I'm sure if you're able to see this now. Okay, so I'm going to call upon her and then I'm going to say, okay, just Alexa, turn off the dining room lights. Alexa, turn on the dining room lights. There. So it can actually shop for food, order food, it can shop for just me, anything. And it plays music on, in case I have, we have it upstairs now, I thought of bringing it and then I forgot. Sonos, it's in one of the bedrooms. So we keep Alexa in the room, and, some of the room has Google. So the baby tends to have, Alexa playing her music, and my other child wants to have, my son wants to play his own music. So they tend to have preferences now. The reason why I'm trying to say is it can also act as a telephone. It can send and read emails, texts, recently, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all other messages. How convenient, right? Its functionalities just keep improving. Now, I think it should be interesting for you all. What's happening here? Natural language processing algorithms are invoked. Based on the request, corresponding modules are called. In this case, it was able to control the light switches for me. Since my home is a little bit of smart, it's not completely smart, but, I can refer to the other IoT session that I was fortunate to take recently. So, that was mainly focusing on things, since we don't have a lot of time, I don't want to go over the same thing again. So deep learning can differentiate between different dialects. As we all know, I'm not a native English speaker. It still makes a distinction based on the dialect. Once the dialect has been established, further processing will be handled by another AI that specializes in that particular language. My baby, who is 4, I have 3 children. The baby is, she's 4. She's been using Alexa since she started speaking. Oh my God, I just said her name and then she invoked. So initially, she used to call her Azza, something like that, And after a couple of attempts, I was surprised to see that, this virtual assistant was able to respond. We all contribute data to these deep learning applications. In this case, my baby, like so many other babies, has helped Alexa learn and understand baby language. So other than this, the most, common ones you might hear is the self-driving cars and image recognition, all using deep learning, okay? The digital era, which contributed to the, the fast growth, like the proliferation, of data in all the forms has been transformed into profound learning for all the corners of the world. Such data, also commonly referred as the big data, come from outlets such as social media, internet search engines, electronic commerce, and online videos. This massive amount of data can be easily accessed and exchanged through cloud computing. Now, let me just go back to this slide one more time. Okay. Everyone able to see slide 4, I guess, right? Okay. Deep learning uses artificial neural network, ANN, which mimics the way the neural networks of human brains work. How neurons, everything is a thought process. So how exactly we humans think, this is able to mimic. Deep neural network uses a system of logic to analyze the data that are structured in layers, resulting in higher levels of performance and accuracy than the regular machine language algorithms. So, which is why you see, you look at the timeline. I really like this slide. You look at the timeline. So from the 2010s onwards, even in the 1990s, we were able to use this sort of thing, but it's not as smart as a self-driving car, because Deep Blue, and recently, there's another thing called the Go, Lee Sedol was, when you start to look at, like the developments in artificial neural networks and deep learning as such, it's just immense, it's a vast area that, we can keep on updating And like I said, machine learning algorithms are better, but what is more surpassing, what surpasses is the deep learning, okay? Since they are able to make predictions and can assess the performance of their own algorithms, okay, it's able to actually assess their own and determine whether they are accurate or optimal. Down the road, we expect a powerful artificial general intelligent AGI like shown in the movies. Now, let me move on to this slide right there. Perfect. Okay. AGI, or the artificial general intelligence, doesn't exist as of yet because we as humans, we do a lot of tasks, but as such, you know, there is no Terminator in the world yet. So fictional depictions of the intelligent machines eradicating or enslaving the humanity, you know, Matrix, you might have seen the movie, in Terminator, you know, all of that. There are some AI startups as of now that are questioning if blockchain can be used to develop AGI. According to them, knowledge as a service, like KAAS blockchain, that's what they call it, can function as an infrastructure for a global AI computing system. Expect our world to get better place for everyone. There are people that are trying to scare, even like famous people trying to scare, but there is no need to scare as of yet. Okay, now we take a look at this slide. So IoT technology keeps patients better connected to doctors these days through remote monitoring and the virtual visits. IoT, Internet of Things healthcare devices, facilitate the care of chronic diseases, okay? They also automate the patient care workflow. It quickly collects, analyzes data, disseminates data to keep everyone on the same page, and it reduces the inefficiency and errors. Optimizing, for example, the pharmaceutical manufacturing process, and which results indirectly in the lower drug prices. So it's better for people, right? It makes and maintains the quality control and manages sensitive items while they are in transit. These are all some of the benefits of IoT being used in healthcare. So they also say this can in turn lower the overall healthcare costs by streamlining the process completely. So, for example, we can think of remote temperature monitoring for vaccines. When they are kept, the temperature has to be cool. So, that an IoT can be, these days, even on the supermarkets, they have the same thing, they maintain. Those days as well, they used to have the temperature, but somebody has to manually go in. But these days, with the help of IoT and RFIDs and everything. So I'm going to be showing, sharing some of the links that are available online on YouTube and something that I have taken eventually. So that will be of help to you. I try to cover as much as possible in the few minutes it's given to me in any college. So we can also think of like air quality sensors, we can also think of the sleep monitors, and then like remote care biometric scanners. We can think of like medication refilling, reminder technology. So each of this could be a project, that you can think of. Then what else can we think of? Like, there is a baby in the hospital, so the sleep and the safety tools, can be utilized. Now, we are, looking at, I believe, CFD, computational fluid dynamics, is a technology for quickly and accurately solving complex fluid flow and heat transfer problems computationally. Safety tools generally combine numerical analysis and algorithms. So always think, why is there a reason to learn all of this in engineering mathematics? So These are the practical applications of those. To solve fluid flow problems, they are used to model fluid density, velocity, pressure, temperature, and chemical concentration in relation to time and space. Now, a range of industries such as the automotive, chemical, aerospace, biomedical, power, energy, construction, they rely on fast CFD analysis turnaround time. It is a key part of their design workflow to understand and design how liquids and gases flow and interact with surfaces. Typical applications include weather simulations, which is why I thought of putting this, when you look at this slide, you could say aerodynamic characteristics, modeling and optimization, and petroleum mass flow rate assessment. These are all some examples. Now, how is artificial intelligence being used? AI is, leveraged wherever possible, including the CFDs, as these companies are trying to augment the intelligence of humans into those machines. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Quantum computing, a huge focal point in the area of AI. Quantum computers compute calculations faster than any supercomputer today. Quantum computers use quantum physics, harnessing the power of quantum mechanics, which is a strange behavior exhibited by things like electrons or particles of light or exotic metals cooled to several degrees, several hundred degrees rather, below zero. Quantum computers use qubits, quantum bits, to store information. On the slide, you see Namana Sundar Pichai, right? In 2019, Google reached quantum superiority, by building a quantum computer that needs only 3 minutes and 20 seconds to perform a calculation that today's computers could not finish in 10,000 years. Quantum computers are still an experimental phase, so we need to wait, okay, until it becomes, Main Street. We call it Main Street. Now, I'm moving on to this slide. Next slide, slide 11. There's a reason why I'm just bringing up all of this. In a few minutes, we'll be seeing up the job opportunities. I hope I'm on time. Now, this particular article is, from, it's the very latest news article from this week, April 9th, 2021. IBM's QI kit machine learning allows the users to integrate their new quantum neural networks directly into the PyTorch open source machine language library. PyTorch library is a Facebook developed platform, which is primarily used for deep learning applications, in case you all need to know what it is. This primarily concentrates on natural language processing, the one that I just showed you with my Amazon's personal assistant, and computer vision. It also, aids in computer vision. Now, let's move on to the actual job problem with the same quantum power in mind. Okay, we saw our own, Indian, rather, let's be Tamilian, you saw him. Why can't, if he can be in a good position, why can't we all get a job? It's as easy as that, right? So let us start to look at the job roles that you all can take as industry professionals. Support engineers mostly deal with maintenance of the system, okay? There would be on-call, providing technical support on user experience issues that require technical assistance. Just keep in mind, I'm going to be moving on to the next slide, but keep in mind, as we progress with the slides, the salaries for IT role also keep increasing. So you need to fix in your mind on what you should learn now in order to earn more. Okay. I'm not for earning more. You know, I like to everyone to be happy, to lead a contented life. Money doesn't make up the whole world. Okay. There are so many things that make people happy, but still, as young children, you all need to aspire and make your parents happy. All right. Now, let's move on to the next slide, which talks about programming. Okay, too quick. All right. Programming engages the use of coding. Okay, it needs skill. What kind of skill? That particular language skill and logic integrated with your creativity. That's all is programming. So moving on to the next slide, you'd be surprised that there are some places where testers are earning more than, because they are really not testers, they are called the quality assurance, people. Testers are engineers who check software products and make sure that they meet industry standards and make sure that it's free of any issues. Okay. Generally, testers, test parts of the software at different stages of development, whereas a software quality assurance engineer oversees the entire development process, which includes software testing from start to finish, but has a wider range at the development of, the process, whatever. And they also keep track and, they wait until the delivery of the application, like up until how it goes to production environment from development phase. Now, web development, or these sort of developers, they design the appearance, navigation, and the content organization of a website. They also, like I said, the salary just keeps on increasing, right? Now, IT technician. IT technicians, these are support specialists that analyze and diagnose computer issues. As simple as that. Generally, in my workplace, I've always seen only men take the role. So kudos to all the men. Now, let's move on to the analyst. System analyst usually reviews the design components and use their knowledge of information technology to solve business problems. Okay. Now, network engineers. Say why the scope of network engineers in the future is looking bright. It was, however, that's the reason why I chose to put that. Network admins conducts operation and maintenance of the entire infrastructure of connected devices. In a few years, however, though, all these network admins will be closer to developers. It is better to start expanding their skill set, or in case you choose or you want to be a network admin, then it's better to expand your skill set and include programming languages. So please, as IT students, I understand if it's other, maybe it's, I don't want to name any specific branch of engineering, but in case they have very less exposure to programming, then maybe they can just choose to be, as IT and computer science professional, already you're learning a lot about how these work. So please learn better and understand the logic behind. Please concentrate on each and everything that's taught. Whatever I learned in, college has helped me throughout. Next slide is user experience designer. They are usually involved with all the facets of the product development, relevant to purchasing, branding, usability, functionality, all of that. They collect and review the feedback and determine how the product needs to be efficient, whether it's functional, is it successful, is it going to be successful? You understand? That is why they are more important now. DBAs, database administration. Okay, what they do is they are able to diagnose and they are able to solve complex IT issues related to data infrastructure, and they ensure that the organization's data is easily accessible and navigable and safe to some extent. Okay. Now, what does the software engineer do? So as IT professionals, even though you want to start, like as a beginner, just think in your mind, let me be a software engineer. Okay. Now, what do? They apply the knowledge of computer science and mathematics to create and improve new software. Cyber security, IT security specialists. What do? They build and they maintain digital protective measures on the intellectual and the data, the intellectual property of the firm is being protected because of the security specialists. In case, just in case, okay, information gets hacked from these networks and servers, they have to create contingency plans. All right. So these days we would hear a lot about, data science, data scientists. What does this data scientist do? They analyze and organize data to determine the trends that can influence business decisions. They use statistics and machine learning to help and collect, process any company's data, such as financial records, sales, prospects, like lead generation, all of that. So I took I think a 5-day webinar on data science. I'm not sure if it's there on YouTube. If possible, I'll provide. I dealt with all the basics and what all tools you need to learn and everything. Okay, this slide is what I want you to all look at. Okay, certification exams come in handy during the interview process. This slide lists the most valuable IT certifications based on the salary. Okay, so as you can see, cloud everywhere, right? So keep in mind on what you should do. This slide is going to be the last slide. GitHub, the largest repository of development projects. Please start using GitHub in case you have not already done so. Now, this is our final slide of the day. This is a list of all the YouTube links from my 7-day webinar on Python for GMRIT in the month of September 2020. As always, I'll be sharing my PowerPoint presentation with the professor. I don't want this to be a webinar on the webinar that I took, so that's why I just put it as a final thing. So there is more that I've specified on machine learning, deep learning, whatever you can think of, all of the, where is the, let's go back to, yes, our slide number, yes, our e-conference thing, whatever you see over here, you will be able to relate with the Python code, how to go, what to do, where you can seek guidance with, all of that. Okay. Thank you very much, dear Dr. Kanaga Subba Raja Subramanian sir, for giving me the privilege of addressing a gathering of intellectuals, and my heartiest congratulations to SRN's educational group for running some of the world's renowned educational institutions. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, HOD madam. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Ma'am, thank you for your wonderful speech, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Rama?
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your wonderful speech that had a very positive impact among us, ma'am. The explanation
you.
for timeline trend introductions was very informative and helpful, ma'am. Interlinking of culture roots with technologies proved out to be very effective for us, ma'am. I learned a lot about your community and regarding the upholding of our Tamil culture abroad, ma'am. Preserving our rich heritage and culture. Adaptations anywhere in the world is what proves us in withholding of rich culture, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for saying all that. Moreover, the thorough explanation
ma'am.
of voice recognition in smart home implementation was very helpful for us to understand the advancements globally, ma'am. And also, I also got to know about various jobs available in USA. And also, it was a very informative session, ma'am. I personally thank you so much because I wanted to know the job, ma'am. I also learned about quantum computing, and you clearly explained the difference between the tester and also quality assurance engineer, ma'am. So it was very informative for me on the whole basis, ma'am. I also got to know about the day of life and computer programming, ma'am. I also discovered the scope of the networking engineers, and also we got to know about the job and also the skills required on the particular job, ma'am. I don't think I will get this information on the road or on the streets, ma'am. I'm very lucky to hear this speech today, ma'am. And I sincerely thank SRM Easwari Engineering College for giving me this opportunity to talk with Miss Rose Oviya Ramasamy, ma'am, on this conference today. And also, I also thank Anandi, ma'am, our HOD of IT department, of organizing this so that this event is so successful for today. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
And,
ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
everyone can leave this meeting now. Thank you so much, students.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am.